So, going to be talking about Roblox. Why is a grown man who is a dad talking about Roblox? Well, it was brought to my attention by my son that Roblox is not having a good time. In fact, it's a bad year for, he said, I'm going to quote him, 2025 is a bad year for Roblox, and 2026 is probably going to be a lot worse. I'm like, why is that, son? He's like, Dad, you have no idea. There's this cult. I'm like, what do you mean a cult? He's like, there's this cult called the cult of Spawnism. And I'm like, what are you talking about? That doesn't make any sense. Right? That doesn't make any sense there. The cult of Spawnism. Oh, okay. But no, he's saying, no, this is a real thing. It's a real thing. And it is a cult indeed. They worship their leader. They seem to believe in this symbol right here. The checkpoint symbol in Roblox. The spawning point. Okay? Now, my son told me all these wild things about this, and I was like, what am I listening to? I felt like I was listening to an old, like, Mr. Medicare, like, video, except without all the, I guess, the hyperbole and exaggeration and stuff, because he was telling me about this sector, I get this weird pocket of Roblox that is quite deranged, very deranged. So apparently, there's this cult, the cult of Spawnism, and people want to join the cult. And when you join the cult, some of the things that people will do is carve this symbol into their body. Like, literally, take a knife, some sort of sharp object, and carve it into their skin. Wow. I mean, that is just deranged right there. Completely like psycho nonsense, right? And of course, is Roblox. So these are kids that are doing this. Like, we're talking about from like 13-year-olds to 15-year-olds, okay? Like that range there. So you have these kids, a lot of them girls, that are like trying to join this cult, to follow this leader. And then my son was like, yeah, this leader, he's a cupcake enjoyer. And I'm like, cupcake enjoyer? What do you mean cupcake enjoyer? Like he likes to eat cupcakes? And my son was like, no, Dad. A cupcake enjoyer is someone that likes kids. And my son's 11. Okay. And I'm like, what in the world is going on? Now, am I going to do the thing and ban him from Roblox forever? No. Here's the thing. These creeps, these weirdos, these sickos will join any game and ruin it for everyone. The fact that my son was bringing this to my attention, it told me and it showed me that he has a good head on the shoulders and is aware of BS and was like, this is nonsense. This is stupid. And I was like, son, thank you for telling me about this. I guarantee you there's people who don't even know this is happening. I might talk about it and laugh at it. And he was like, Dad, there's nothing to laugh at. This is real. This is serious. Like, people are getting hurt by this. They're hurting themselves. And there's these kids that are doing this. And of course, the leader is like some 22-year-old guy, okay, who's like grooming these kids. And it centers around this game in Roblox. So Roblox is like it's a sandbox with a bunch of different games in it. Oh, I'm trying to recall the name of the game. Oh, man. Good news. There's a video on it right here that we could watch. I'll get to the Ava the G stuff in a bit. I don't want to mix the topics.
This symbol, which you may know as an innocent respawn symbol in Roblox games, has just been stolen and used by a dangerous cult to trick little kids. And the weirdest part, they actually worship this symbol as their god and use it to manipulate and harm children. This week on Roblox, people have managed to turn the symbol into a self-harm,
some things. And then my son told me that some people actually have shrines for this symbol. Like these kids will make shrines of this symbol, like in the school bathroom, to worship this. And now, some of these stories sound wild and be like, no way. But I tell you this is a news article. I read it to you guys before. You probably don't remember. It was a long time ago. There was these two. Wait. You guys do know, because they made a movie out of this. Remember there's two girls that stabbed their friend in the name of Slender Man. Do y'all remember that? Y'all remember that story? Teenage girls, like prepubescent into teenage girls, are some of the dumbest people on the planet. They get roped up into nonsense and they believe whatever. For what? I'm sorry. When you have girls that try to kill their friend in the name of Slender Man, and then you have girls that are joining this stupid cult because of their issues that they have. It's insane and sick.
So what on earth is going on here? Man, Spawnism. I thought the spawn location would be a cool ass tattoo to get at some point, but now people have to ruin it with a bizarre cult. What is going on? Roblox might remove spawn location because of this. As someone in the comments said, am I cooked, bro, with the literal spawn location tattoo? So what is going on with all this Spawnism and cult stuff? So it turns out this entire thing comes from an
Forsaken. That's the name of the game. That's right.
Game thing in Forsaken, and refers to a fictional cult called the Spawn Cult that this character named Two Time was a part of. Now, I'm not terminally, online enough to play Forsaken, so luckily this user can't pronounce it, but shout out you, has summarized it for us. So there's a character in Forsaken named Two Time, as we said before. They belong to a cult named the Cult of the Spawn, also known as the Spawn Cult, which worships the spawn, and they believe that they would gain abilities from it, such as respawning. And as you can see, they have the logos on it. The most important thing to remember is that this is all fictional. This is just some in-game lore from this game called Forsaken in Roblox. It's not real. That is, until now. Because people are making a true cult inspired by it and grooming children into joining, making them themselves, and even the spawn symbol into their bodies. And the most ironic part is that Two Time's whole lore is that cults are bad. They were against it because they were mentally messed up by it. Spawnism is made by people who didn't care to read into Two Time's lore. That is literally cult bad, it can make you go delusional. Another thing that's kind of delusional is my goal of hitting 10,000 subscribers before I go back to school. So please, if you can, hit that subscribe button. Thank you so much. As you know, Spawnism is a relatively new thing, so there's very little research or documentation on it, which is why it may be hard to wrap your head around what it truly is. So that's why the only academic source I can really go to.
This is freaking wild to me, man. This is a freaking wild story. And the fact that I have kids, it makes me even more worried about it.
To at the moment is ChatGPT. Alright, and if you still need a little help on what Spawnism is and its religion, let's see how AI explains it in Fortnite terms. Spawnism is a fictional meme-life belief system that treats the spawn point where players drop or respawn as sacred. In Fortnite, the battle bus drop is the
So I'm guessing that I guess part of the belief in carving it into your body is that you'll respawn when you die in real life? Which I'm not sure how that's supposed to work. Like, do you respawn as a baby? Like in your mom's womb? Again? What if your mom is 60 or 80? Or what if your mom is dead? Do you spawn as a baby in your mom's dead body? Like this is a legitimate question to ask. I don't understand what this is here.
First spawn. Spawnists believe that where you land determines your fate. Respawning is rebirth. In modes with reboot vans, respawning is like a resurrection miracle. The reboot van is basically a holy altar. Protect it. No spawn camping. In games where spawn camping is possible, it's basically bad to attack players right as they spawn. It's like attacking someone in church. Spawnists might worship the spawn by emoting or dropping loot at the reboot van as an offering to the spawn god. If you want, I can make up some Spawnist Fortnite commandments. Thou shalt always respect the battle pass. Okay, we're done. But what is the actual origin of this oddly suspicious looking respawn symbol? Where did this symbol actually come from? I mean, surely it looks mystical and worship worthy according to these Spawnism members. Well, this user—
It looks like a Godsmack tattoo.
Says, wish there was a more interesting story for it, but the truth is a lot more boring. Apparently, it's just clip art from Paint Shop Pro. And this leads to a tweet by Dynabroth, which says, a few weeks ago, a user discovered the origin of the spawn point image and the old Roblox cursor, which were icons that come from Paint Shop Pro. And as you can see, we got the cursor, but more importantly, we have the spawn point, and it's supposed to be just a sun. WallyGurp on Discord said, so I found the software Paint Shop Pro, and it had some symbols that were similar to Roblox graphics. So this image isn't even
and of course, because Roblox pretty much lifts and steals every image it uses, everything, every asset. Pretty much every asset of Roblox, from what I've understand so far, is pretty much taken from something else. They were even sued for using that oof sound that you make when you die. There's really nothing original about Roblox, and you've got to think the people who made it were very ingenious about it, because they made a game where people will make other games to then make money, and they are pretty much like the top of a pyramid scheme that people buy into because, well, the kids find it fun.
Like a, godly deity made by some delusional cult leader. It's just from this Paint Shop Pro, released in 1990, and apparently it is now abandonware. But yeah, for Roblox, the spawn location PNG was made in 2007, which means even if this was a god, they are worshipping a literal 18-year-old buddy. Bro was a minor like last year. Don't tell Koofy that. But even Shedletsky, who was the former creative director of Roblox, used this symbol in his old website for the music category. So now that we know the origin of this symbol, it is utterly ridiculous that Spawnism cult members are worshipping it. But yeah, now Spawnism is literally a real life thing. They got Discord servers like GG/Spawnism and For the Spawn. Please do not join these. And they are currently grooming minors into committing self-harm and manipulating them. These minors are mentally unwell and need serious help. Please do not harass them and send death threats. Oh my.
Oh yeah, and my son even told me that some people get talked into like hurting like one of their friends, like sacrificing a friend that they have. Now, hold on. I want to see if I can find like news articles related to this as well as we let this play.
Goodness. Oh my god, this is actually crazy. I'm gonna censor this, but this person has literally said, praise the spawn. The only person you need is the spawn. Surrender your life for eternity for life-filled happiness. Pray, join, praise thee with hashtag Spawnism. And I'm not gonna show this image, but just imagine the Roblox respawn symbol on someone's arm, bro. Oh my goodness. This person is literally 15, and they said, I'm not good at drawing the spawn yet, but one day this will be into me. Hashtag Spawnism. And some person said, how about we keep it as Sharpie? In which they replied with, sorry, but I'd rather have the spawn on me permanently. The spawn is perfection, and a little pain to have perfection on me is what I want. To which they responded, trust me, getting a clip art decal on your skin is not worth it. And yeah, honestly, in the nicest way possible, this is an utterly delusional statement. The fact that this cult is trying to trick kids into doing permanent damage to their own bodies for this stupid cult is utterly disgusting, bro. Dude, it's just even more, it's just so bad. Oh my god, people are literally hurting themselves for this cult. It's actually disgusting to see, bro. And the worst part is these people are encouraged.
Now, I just did a quick little Google search. I couldn't find any news reports or anything about this. Would have to maybe look at probably Reddit or something like that to see people talk about it, see if people are actually like doing this stuff. It sounds wild. It sounds so bizarre, but it does sound something that like dumb kids would get into, like really dumb, gullible kids. Guys, if you have kids and they're playing like internet games, online games, like make sure you And this, I shouldn't have to say this, but make sure you stay in regular contact with your kids. Be involved in their life, man. Be involved in their life. Engage with them. See what it is that they're doing. All right? Take them out for walks. Take them to the park. Take them outside. Make them touch grass.
Urging it. This is cute. I actually like it. I'm sure this spawn will as well. This is literally permanent damage on your arm, bro. And the worst part is these are little kids. This is a 15-year-old kid looking for Spawnism moots. Oh my god, bro. Stop grooming kids to join your cult. You shouldn't be spreading your delusions onto innocent teenagers and kids. To whoever started and promoted the Spawn cult to teenagers and kids and caused them to harm themselves, I hope you suffer for the rest of your life. And the worst—
Yeah, same here. Yeah.
Worst part is these posts are attracting other little kids into these servers. This user is 14/15 and they said, do you know any Discord servers with fellow spawners that I could join? May the spawn bless us all. Here we got a Spawnism server and they say a bunch of people with a lower power dynamic are being manipulated into believing that Spawnism is a cult with barely any evidence. The best example of this I can show is an interaction with someone who generally seemed curious about Spawnism. I explained it to the best of my ability at the time and was faced with, you're a cult leader lying to me. Loves myself for the spawn, bro. Oh my goodness. And the response, as usual, has been crazy. Starting my morning off with some prayer. The symbol—
Wait, shut up. Hold on here. Was that the shrine?
And the response, as usual, has been crazy. Starting my morning off with some—
Okay, hold on here. Hold on. Okay. Now, some of this has to be a troll. Like, I'm looking at this right here. This one looks like a troll here. You have a Spawnism shrine, a bag of Doritos, a protein shake, Capri Sun. You got some pocket change. You got an open. Oh, look, he opened the can of Coke Zero. That's nice. Okay.
prayer. The symbol would make for a cool arm/hand tattoo, I'm gonna be honest. Boy, do I have some news for you. An ink tattoo. Having to specify is insane, dog. I was gonna get a small tattoo on my wrist until this shit happened. Yo, nah, I'm finding out people have made a fake religion over this because of Forsaken. This is the most 2020 quarantine thing ever. But the plot thickens because in response to this, we have a self-proclaimed mod in the Spawnism server, who is a Spawnism themselves. Me having to go through and tell everyone that Forsaken is a horrible interpretation of Spawnis, and that Spawnism has existed way before Forsaken did. It's not a cult, bro. Source, I made it the fuck up. Get a job and start contributing to society. This is exactly how a cult member talks about cults. Children should not have access to social media. Source, it came to me in a dream. And yeah,
if your kids do have access, make sure you see everything they do. Like, it has to be like that. It really does.
this person's just getting absolutely flamed in the comments. And what I find most crazy about this entire situation is that this was just a casual, spawn symbol that Roblox made in 2007. It wasn't anything serious. But the fact that people have literally taken this image and made it a literal cult symbol is absolutely insane. What is this? Bro, what on earth is this? Like, turn to Spawnism before it's too late. Yeah, bro, this is actually crazy. They got like propaganda style videos now of the spawn.
The spawn
bro.
will save us
just
all.
This little PNG, bro.
Cost
Just
blood and sacrifice. Okay. I would have think that this all started with someone just trying to be a troll. And then, but people bought into it. Maybe like first as a joke, but then it became real.
absolutely hurts seeing young impressionable children who probably have their own struggles going on just being easily manipulated by these types of people. And the fact that this exists and spawns from a Roblox game that was completely fictional is just absolutely disgusting, bro.
Yeah, that is. That's wild. Yes, so I will definitely be keeping an eye on this. And from the perspective of a dad, oh yeah, it's very concerning. This whole thing is. But I'm not gonna be like, son, I don't want you ever to play Roblox ever again. No. I mean, these creeps are in every game. In fact, if anything, it's more like, son, thank you for telling me this. I think you tell me thank you for telling me about this. And it sounds like you have a good head on your shoulders. You're very aware of what's going on. And you know what? I think you'll be all right. Because, I mean, he said he's not talked to anyone about that or talked to anyone that is in that cult. He's not even seen them. So that's good. All right.